Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Dan from PubNub. Thanks to Google earlier for mentioning us. Can you guys hear me okay? Good. Mic, closer? You have the handheld? All right. How about now? Better? Perfect. All right. So I want to talk to you today about a problem in real-time technology today, and that is large-scale real-time. So you probably recognize most of these companies. They all have real-time technologies, and they all have one thing in common. They all paid about $10 million or more to build this system and scale it out globally. So they paid a lot of money, and they put a lot of developers to basically build this technology themselves. And it turns out there's actually two major challenges with real-time. So the big thing is 25% of it is development. So a lot of the coders go out there, they use Socket.io, they use Sock.js, and go and build this thing themselves. And that works great, up to 1,000, 10,000 users. 75% of the problem actually comes from deployment and scaling. So, figuring out what's my network topology, how do I get around firewalls, how do I do load balancing, how do I do, load testing, security, and redundancy and replication between all of these different servers. So that's where PubNub comes in. PubNub is a globally scaled, distributed real-time network. So we provide the core building blocks for building these real-time applications, and they're generic enough for anyone to use. And we do this with lots of features. So, for WebRTC, you need to see who's online. Well, we have a globally scaled presence server that allows you to do that. We also provide analytics, storage and playback, and AES encryption from end-to-end to do signaling between all of your different users. And it all works on mobile. And we've been doing this for about 4 years, and we have some amazing things that have already been built on top of PubNub. So we have lots of things like multiplayer games, doing the messaging between them, things like remote tech support, taxi dispatch control if I want to order a taxi with my phone. PubNub can power all of these real-time technologies and at a very low cost to the end user and the developer. So you can see here, this is an example of PubNub right now. These are two iframes, and what's happening is as I'm moving my mouse, it's actually publishing messages to PubNub, and the second frame is actually subscribing to that message and getting it on the other side. And this is all happening in real time, and this is actually happening over a Wi-Fi hotspot that's sitting on the podium right here. So that's how we do real time. And here's how we do WebRTC. So we actually released an open source WebRTC framework that you can plug into your application. And now you can do WebRTC without having to set up a signaling server. So we provide a globally scaled signaling and presence server to not only see who's online and offline, but also provide the framework to connect to them without having to spin up a bunch of servers. So this is all online today and ready to use out of the box on top of a server that's been proven for the past 4 years. So you can see how this works here. This is actually working with a data channel currently. So if I type in a message into the box and hit send, that's actually being transmitted over a data channel. Not too crazy impressive, but here's the cool part. If we look at the source, you can see it's about 44 lines of code, and that's it. There's no servers. I didn't spin up any servers for this. I didn't create any signaling protocols. I didn't do a bunch of lines of code to handle my SDP. There's really nothing here other than connect to the server, and this is actually for both the client and the receiving end. So 44 lines of code, works out of the box. You can copy this into your own application today. So this is the PubNub network currently, and if it refreshes up here, it takes a little bit sometimes. All right, well, normally we show this at our booth, so if you check us out in the expo hall, you can actually see this running. Not sure what's going on here. So what this is a map of our globally scaled real-time network that's happening right now. So real data that's coming off of our servers. We show it on this little map, and you can actually see all the pieces of data being transferred across the globe. It's pretty cool to watch. And we've also announced since last time that we gave a demo, we now have an access manager. And what this allows you to do is secure your real-time applications. So the other thing people, when you build a signaling server, that's great, now people can connect, but how do we secure this application so that only certain people can talk to each other? So we've released an access manager that actually sits in front of our real-time applications, and now your server can identify users and grant and deny them access to certain channels based on their user ID or based on their authentication key. And this all works, again, globally scaled, right out of the box, all on top of PubNub. Thanks.